going on, guys? We are back on another episode of Real Estate and Sneakers, two things that I love to talk about. We're going to jump right into it. Today, I want to talk about the Jordan 1. Some people call it Pine Green. Some people call it Lucky Green. These dropped back in 2023. This was a re-release of a pair that dropped in 2018. And before that, there were another pair that dropped over 10 years ago. Some people call them the Boston Celtics because of the colors. I don't really know why they call them Boston Celtics, because back in 86, I think it was, when Jordan played against the Celtics, when he had in the playoffs, he had 49 in the first game. He had 63 in the second game. So I don't know if they dubbed the sneaker that, but I think it's a really cool shoe. These come with 3 pairs of laces. They come with green, they come with black, and they come with white. The leather quality on this, I think, is really cool. The black toe in the front, as you can see from the bottom, I've worn these a bunch of times. I like them. Try to grab yourself a pair if you like them. And my son will be telling you what's going on with real estate with the market and interest rates.
So right now with the market, with the rates for 30-year fixed, it's floating around 6%. For 15-year, it's under 6%, closer to 5.5%. So definitely a great time to grab yourself a house now to start investing. Everybody, a lot of people were waiting for things to calm down in a sense, or for rates to go down. So definitely a great time to take advantage. To invest, to purchase, even to sell. We might, in the upcoming episodes, be talking about a 50-year mortgage sooner than later. But, you definitely want to, be knowledgeable and take advantage of the rates coming down.
Yep, we'll definitely be delving more into that in the upcoming episodes. But today, without further ado, we have a mom, an entrepreneur, an attorney who does real estate in 2 states, in New York and New Jersey. Also a fellow Nigerian. So that's why the green and white, that was the theme for today, folks. Attorney Tony, what's going on?
Hi, it's a pleasure to be with you guys. Thank you so much. I know it took a while, but I'm glad to be here.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I look forward to, getting to know you guys better and telling a little bit about myself and what I do. And just talking real estate.
Okay. So I guess in your own words, if you want to tell the folks who you are, because, I can say so many different things, but no one can say it better than you.
Oh, wow. Who am I? Most people know me by Toyin. That's my alias. My full name is Oluwatoyin Akinola. I like telling people what my name means because it does mean something to me. It means God is worthy of praise. That's my first name. That's basically how I live my life. In everything I do, I always appreciate God first. I consider being able to work for myself a blessing, from God. So I don't take it for granted. And I do love what I do. I feel like every day I wake up, I'm like, it's a hobby that I do. I don't see it as job, anything like that. Although some days are stressful, etc. It's part of it. I still find fun in that. I have 2 boys, 11 and 10, and my husband.
Nice.
Not sure what else you want to.
No, that's fine. And with the name, it's funny enough that my sister actually has the same name.
Oh, really?
Yes. So we share the same name, and like you said, everybody knows us as our alias. So everybody knows me as Femi, but as you and I both know, it's Olufemi.
Correct.
Which means God loves me. So
yes,
that's where it comes from.
Yes, and with the Nigerian name, there's always a meaning because
Always a meaning.
our parents, when they're naming us, or our I don't know how many names you have.
I have 4.
Oh, you have 4. I have, I think, 11.
See, yeah, we have a few.
From my parents to my uncles and aunties and grandparents, and I think maybe some neighbors.
Right.
They all want to give you that name that connects them to you, and that's where the names have meaning.
Yes.
Whatever your birth means to that person, they'll name you after that.
Yeah.
That's at least the Yoruba.
The Yoruba names, yeah.
I like that. So
Yeah. How did you get started in real estate?
Oh wow. I'm not sure if I kind of knew I wanted to do real estate before I got into it.
You
But
fell into it, maybe.
I kind of fell into it as once I moved to New York after college years ago.
Okay.
I got introduced to a real estate attorney, and I started working in his office. So that's how I got into it. Was doing a lot of deals. So
Okay.
so I would go to closings with him. I'll talk to the title company, and I was doing a lot of contract reading at the time because I just really wanted to like figure out what's going on with this real estate. But like without the legal knowledge, you can only know so much. But I knew about the contracts and stuff just from being the paralegal, and I did that for quite a few years before eventually going to real estate. Before eventually going to law school. But I worked for a few other law firms and did other things also, but real estate was always there. Even I worked at the time at a personal injury firm, they did some real estate. So
Not much.
yeah, it wasn't as much, but whenever they'll have the real estate, they always came to me, and I was always happy to get back into it. So it's always been a part of me since I've been really working, I guess. Yeah.
And how long have you been doing it now?
Like from then to now.
Yes.
Oh, I try not to think about it. So, but I don't know why. I always have to think, how many years is that? For some people, like that, but for whatever reason, I don't know. So I think I did that for about 6 years. So since 2004, so I did my step. Okay. Since about 2004, that was when I was a paralegal at law firms. And then I went to law school in 2009. Right? Yeah. So, and then after law school, worked at some, as an attorney at foreclosure firms.
Okay.
I worked at 2 big foreclosure firms, my first jobs out of law school, my first 2 jobs. And then I went to a real estate firm that was doing commercial and residential mostly. They did some other things, but mostly real estate in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. From there, I went to another, like a general practice law firm, but she also did real estate. So, and after that, COVID happened. So, and I always had the inkling at the back of my mind. I think even before I finished law school, that it's having my own practice might be something I want to do.
Right.
So during that COVID, it was just very like, I kind of set myself up. I opened.
Oh, by opening up before COVID?
Well, I'm sorry if my prior boss can see this, but I kind of knew I wanted to do that. So I started talking to friends, a lot of my good friends, and I created I got a name, and I actually created from the LLC, I incorporated and everything before COVID happened. I don't know if that was just God telling me to prepare myself, but that happened. I even started creating my social media pages, but I hit them because my employer. So then COVID happened, and it just became a little very stressful, actually, with my kids coping, having to manage their school and working, having to be available for Zoom. Right. And I just prayed a lot, I prayed to God. So the end of 2020, beginning of the following year, 2021, January 1, 2021, I was my home boss. My last day at my working for someone was December 31st of 2020. And since then, God has been good to me.
Amen. Amen. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say with kind of not really being, I guess, a new like self.
I think I'm still new in that 5 years almost now.
Yeah. What do you think would be or is maybe the hardest part about being self-employed?
Motivating myself every day. Is that really the hardest? I don't know. Sometimes I have to find the motivation to like get really into
the groove.
Maybe the hardest part of it, but it's also something that I don't know. When it's hard is because I work for myself. It's me. I don't have co-workers, So I think that part, although it's the hardest, but sometimes I'm like, thank God. Yeah. So
it's a gift and a curse.
Yeah. So I enjoy being my home boss, but sometimes it's nice to have that rapport and go to office and see, familiar faces and, go back and forth with them. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's it.
Nice. How old were you when you bought your first piece of real estate?
Oh, wow. Again, I don't always think about dates for whatever reason. I'm not sure why.
You put it to the back of your mind.
Yeah. I would say my 20s, somewhere there. So.
Oh wow, okay,
Yeah.
that's a long time. What on?
You dated me, but you can.
Yeah. Well, listen, I bought my first house when I was 28.
Oh,
And, the people that listen to me, they know that I bought the house, and exactly a week later, I got laid off from work. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Your lender.
There was a lot going on at the time. So
Yeah.
my son was 2 months old.
Oh wow.
My daughter was 4. So it was a lot going on. I don't know if it was a gift or curse or blessing, but
Yeah.
it happened. And
Now.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we just did what we had to do to keep
Yeah.
it going.
You have to sink or swim, so you
Yes.
have no choice.
Yes. What was the your biggest lesson in your first purchase?
I mean, so it's also what I tell my clients now that are looking to buy first home. Your first home, it's you have to be realistic, right? It's probably just gonna be there for a few years. There are things you're not going to love about it. You don't have to fall in love with it. So that was something I had to, figure out. I don't have to love this home, but yeah, that's always a challenge. You're looking for the perfect home, but there's no such thing unless you build it yourself. So yeah, that was the one thing that I can remember.
Yeah, I try to tell them the same thing. Your first one is never going to be your forever home
Correct.
for the most part.
For the most part, yeah.
So, you do what you have to do to try to get your feet in the door, to try to get your feet wet, and you get yourself established, and then it makes everything easier going from there.
And also,
when you
it
look at it.
depends. Oh, sorry to cut you off. What you're trying to do with the first home? Is it an investment? Are you trying to live there? So all that really should factor into or your thought process of how you decide.
Right.
What to buy.
Right. Advice that you wish you had before you bought.
Just know that it's going to be fine. Am I going to be able to afford the mortgage? What if something happens? It's like you can't predict the future.
None of us can.
So you'll be fine, And also, I didn't think of that, but the house appreciates too, right? So God forbid something happens that you need to sell, more than likely you can recoup something from it. And
For the most part.
For the most part.
Agreed.
For the most part, yes. And hopefully you'll be fine. So, but it's always a good thing to do if you're able to do it. Just
Jump in.
It's a leap of faith. It's a leap of faith, really. So yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, do you have any, I guess, investments or anything you're looking to delve into real estate, like maybe own some multifamily stuff or commercial stuff, or?
Well, I've always had this. I don't know where I get these things from in my head of owning like a multi-family, almost like a hotel type thing.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But that's always been somewhere in the back of my head. So we'll see.
That's the goal.
We'll see. Yes.
Question for you: how is being from Nigeria? How did that shape your work ethic?
Oh.
I can answer that. Yeah. So I wanted to get your thoughts on it.
What? Oh my goodness. Especially having the parents that we have, that drive. I don't even know. I can't even think of not having a work ethic. It's just not even in my thought process. You're born to just be an overachiever, really.
That's true.
So coming from the family that I came from, they didn't pressure me too much, but I just always.
Which Nigerian family did you come from? Mine was a little different.
I mean, yeah, they'll tell me, read your book. I always had a book with me. I was like, I don't know, bookworm from when I can remember. But like, they also let me, I guess maybe they knew that I had the drive, right? So they didn't push me like too far that some people, they go over the hedge. But they were always supportive. They always knew that, they had expectations of me. But they also let me decide. Again, I knew from a young age, I don't remember how long that I wanted to be a lawyer. And I vocalized that my family knew that. So they just assisted me and guided me to eventually get there. Nice. So maybe because they knew that I had that drive, they didn't over push too much. They just kind of helped me guided me to get there. Yeah.
Nice. Values from Nigerian culture that you bring into the business?
A value that I bring to the business is... We Nigerians, we have this success mentality, I was thinking on the way here, right? What we look for is the opportunity. Once that opportunity is there, you don't take it. It's like, what? Like, you can't even explain that. Like, you have this opportunity. To me, I have this opportunity, so I use it as much as I can to better myself, to even like open doors for other people when I can. So that's one thing I know about us Nigerians that I always, look for. I always jump on.
Nice.
That take opportunities wherever you get it.
Nice. A lesson or phrase from your childhood that you would say stuck with you?
A lesson or phrase. My friends always tell me, like when you get your report card and you're not the first in class, they're like, well, somebody was the first, right? Why are you not the first? So one thing I learned, if someone else can do it, I can do it, and maybe I can even do it better, So that's one thing I always think of. If something that someone is doing and I'm impressed by it, I'm like, well, if I want to do it too, I can also do it, and I can also achieve that success. So that's something. Yeah.
Nice. You had a question?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to dive into, I know kind of going back, you were saying you started your business or, by yourself like 2020, 2021-ish. You were, for the most part, doing New York at that time? Are you doing Jersey too? Or?
Well, so I started doing New York because I was still kind of new. I already had the New Jersey bar license since I graduated from law school. But I never used it because I never got that opportunity. With the firms I work for, they were all mostly New York firm. There was one that was trying to branch into Jersey, but I left them before that opportunity would come out. So when I got my license, when I opened my practice, I knew that, now it's time. It's my opportunity to now use this license that I have that I haven't really used. So I just reached out to family, friends that are already in the field in Jersey. I had a law school friend, she was already practicing in New Jersey. So I reached out to her and she was able to guide me. But
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Gotcha.
What would you say is the top mistakes that buyers make at the closing table?
Being in their feelings.
You guys hear that? All right.
I know it's a big investment. It's very emotional.
Yes.
But some things, I don't know how to say because I don't want to hurt their feelings. I'm always very,
we were trying to pick and choose.
around there.
Yes.
But some things, it's really not that big a deal. It's not that serious, really. And if it's something legal, I try to explain to them as much as possible. I understand it's a legal issue, but the possibility of that actually happening is very close to none. If it's something about the condition of the house, they didn't fix this thing properly or what, okay, are you going to not close because something
something?
Yeah. So yeah, to me it's being in their feelings, but I don't know how to help them out of that. It's just a natural human thing that we all do. So
But I think for you, as being an attorney, I say this a lot. A lot of attorneys are pretty much, for them, it's black and white.
yes,
There's no gray area. You guys just give it to them. This is what
we're very firm. We have to be because that's where we try to take the emotions out of it. So it's black or white. So yeah, you're completely 100% right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you say sellers misunderstand, I guess, the most? Because you've done it so many times. If you can think of.
Sellers misunderstand the most. I have to think about that, actually.
Okay.
Can we come back to that?
Yeah, we can come back.
About it in the back of my head.
Yeah, we can come back to that. With some of the clients that you work with that do investing, when would you say, I guess, is the best time for them to create an LLC for a property?
Well, the ones that can create LLC ahead of time, because the lenders like to see that the LLC has been for a few years before. So the ones that know what they want to do, and even if the LLC is not really active as much, it's good to have that ahead of time. Otherwise, if it's something that you didn't create before you purchase the property, as soon as you find out about that, then you should definitely reach out and the sooner the better. Once you find out about it.
Okay. You had a question?
Yeah, I was going to say, what do you think is the most important aspect of, I guess, setting up trust or will, or differentiating the two?
Well, so unfortunately, some people don't have the assets, right, to create a trust. But the minute you have some kind of means, like a home, you know, that's a good time to start thinking about, creating a trust, especially if you have family, or even if you don't have family, you want to be able to control, um, when you're gone, what happens to your property. That's
Property,
also
yeah.
happens with doing your assets. That's also why you're thinking of creating the will. But the trust thing wasn't really well known in our community in the past. So now that people are knowing about it, it's the same reason that the people that were doing it are doing it. That's the same reason why you should do it. It helps with to privacy, and also it also navigates you away from like having to go to probate court once you're no longer around. So those are one of the biggest benefits of doing it.
Nice. And back to what my son was talking about before, because you practice in New York and New Jersey,
Yes.
how do you not even differentiate? Because I know that, I've done some stuff in New Jersey and also New York because it's done a little bit differently.
Yes.
How do you navigate that?
So I don't get confused.
So you don't get confused because it's too, like I was saying before, I know that, we do it a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm. It is. I think at this point it's kind of a second nature to me. I've done them so many times now that as the minute, even just knowing which client, like you tell me which clients of mine, I can tell you. I just remember, okay, this deal I had to navigate and do this. So I can tell you, oh, this was in New Jersey or this was in New York. Just because the two states they have similarities, but they're also
very different.
They're also very different. New Jersey, we're closing like 30 days?
Right.
New York, you guys know, right? 60 days, hopefully.
But what's always not funny, but weird to me, I guess, in a sense, is that in New York, when we're putting a deal together, we get it accepted, we get a home inspection done, and then at that point, the attorneys get involved. But then in New Jersey, you get a deal accepted, and then you have something called attorney review.
Yes. So I'll explain New Jersey since that's when you guys we're in New York. So yes, in New Jersey, the agents are very, very involved. Unlike throughout. Unlike in New York, they're involved at the beginning.
In the beginning, that you don't see them anymore.
And then you come and collect your check. In New Jersey, the agents that are not involved is always a bit hard to me because I'm used to them wanting to know what's going on. So they put the deal together and they create the contract, right? Which is something they do upstate New York. But in New Jersey, is the agent that created this contract. They get the clients to sign it. And a lot of time, the clients will reach out to me before signing. Should I sign? Should I not? I'm like, well, if you want the house, you have to sign. Once after you sign and the seller signs, that's when then I get involved. And don't worry, I'll be able to protect your interest. I understand some things are in there that you think might be crazy, but once we're in attorney review, which in New Jersey, you have to get the contract in front of an attorney within 3 days of signing it, unless unless there's some other reasons and the seller already knows. But yes, we get to attorney review. I then come into the transaction either as the seller's attorney or the buyer's attorney, and we create what is essentially a rider to the contract. We create that, and it's exchanged between the attorneys, and we use that to negotiate what wasn't done before. What is
to add in?
Yeah, to add in or to remove something. Yes, and the attorney review really is supposed to take as long as it needs to before what we call conclude the attorney review, and we're then fully in contract. But because we know, and the agents, they know that during attorney review in New Jersey, either party, if they want to back out of the deal, they can back out. And there's no consequence. So if a buyer finds another house while in attorney review, they can be like, I'm sorry, I don't want to continue with the transaction anymore. And
no ramification.
No ramification. And the same with the seller, there's a better offer that comes and we're still in attorney review, they can back out. So because of that, the agents still try and get us to conclude attorney review as soon as possible. So there's no issues. But otherwise, we can take a week. We can do 2 weeks if there are issues that really need to be resolved
right.
before we get out. But once the attorney review is concluded, that's when the time start to run. Then they'll have time to do the inspection, to get the mortgage contingency satisfied, and the appraisal, and then we get to the closing. So nothing actually, the time doesn't run. Nothing's really going on until I tell my client we're not out of to make a review. Correct. Which is something we don't have in New York.
It's different, like you said.
Very different. So.
I was gonna say, which state do you prefer? Do you think it's easier? I only ask because I know you said like New York. You guys are kind of coming in in the end in a sense, but in Jersey, you kind of are there in the beginning, so you could kind of control the narrative of what's going to happen after the fact. But you know, like New York, you're kind of like everything's put together already first, but you know, the agent is all the steps are kind of in place for its inspection and everything is signed, and then you're gonna evolve. So which is a little more preferable, I guess, or easier to.
Well, I guess I could say maybe a little more preferable because I do enjoy New York. I fell in love with real estate doing New York, right? So, but I would say, to be honest, New Jersey deals are much easier. And I'll say why. It's because the agents, they're involved. Most of the time, there are times when the agents fall back. Maybe they have other jobs or other deals, but a lot of times they stay involved and they're able to help us attorneys really navigate a lot of things that could take time. You know, if they're always most times on the emails, they see an email come in and it's something that I was going to call my client about, or they'll reach out to me right away. You know, because they already see it, so it helps move things a lot faster for us to get to the closing. So I would say for that reason, and also New Jersey, unlike New York, I as the attorney don't have to appear at the closing. You know, the sellers rarely ever come to the closing. They pre-sign everything. Correct. Unless it's a new construction. I feel that a lot of times when it's a new construction, the developer, whoever wants to be at the closing, and they usually also want to dictate where the closing will be. But yeah, usually at the attorney's office for their own reasons. But yeah, otherwise, the sellers don't come to the closing in New Jersey. And I, as a buyer's attorney, when I'm the buyer's attorney, I don't have to be at the closing either because the title company acts as what we call a settlement agent in New Jersey, which is kind of like doing the work of lender's attorney in New York. So they have a title closer that will go over all the docs with the buyers at the closing. So I'm really not needed there. I'm available. Sometimes I'm available by Zoom. As long as I'm available and I can be reached. If there's a title, a legal issue, they'll reach out to me. I'll reach out to the other attorney. Otherwise, it's really, and then because nobody's there but the buyers and the title company, like depending how many buyers there are and depending if it's an FHA or a conventional, because the package are a little heavy. If it's a FHA, you could be out of a closing in like 15 minutes or 30 minutes. New York.
We both know, Tony.
2 hours and more. So, yeah. So for that reason, I would say New Jersey is easier.
Like smoother.
Easier. Just
easier.
It's a little bit more seamless. Okay. Working in both states, how would you say that that's made you a sharper attorney?
Well, so I have to know which state I'm dealing with. So I have to always be conscious of, okay, New York, I can do this. New Jersey, you can do this. I'm always my mind has to be very sharp all the time. So which keeps me put me in the know a lot. And also they have different laws, right? In terms of New Jersey might have some updates that New York doesn't have yet, or New York might have and New Jersey doesn't. So I'm always having to be updated on what's going on in each state, so that I'm not behind.
That's good. And you also do, your office also, you guys do wills in the States, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a smaller department. Yeah, real estate is my number one, but yes, we do that too.
Okay. So I know you talked about it in the beginning. What would happen when someone dies without a will?
Oh, if you die without a will and you do have assets, so the distribution, what happens to your assets, right? Then it's what we call a default rule. Each state has its own default rule, although they're all similar. In New York, if you die, you don't have assets, then and you do have assets and you don't have a will, then you can have one of your family members petition to be the administrator of your estate.
Okay.
Otherwise, there's a public administrator that's appointed by the court to administer your estate, and the distribution is also done by law. So if you don't have a will and you had children or a spouse that you wouldn't have given anything to, they get it.
They're gonna get it, right?
Yes. So it's always good to have a will, and you can dictate how you want.
What?
Yeah, how you want your assets to be distributed once you die.
Nice. And I know with the wills, or one of the misconceptions, a lot of people think that because you have a will and, Lord forbid something happens to you, that there's no probate. So if you want to speak to that, because I hear that so much that...
Really?
Yeah. So
Okay.
if you want to speak to that.
Well, so most times there is. The only time when you can, that we in my practice, in real estate practice, that we've been able to avoid probate is if that's the only asset that the person had, and it's a title issue. Is the title company going to be comfortable with not going through probate? And usually they want the deceased person to have passed away at least 2 years before the asset is being transferred to someone else. Otherwise, if there's a will, you're going through probate.
If there's a will, you're going through probate.
Yes, unless the will can't be found and everybody thinks there's no will because they can't find it, then you go to that default rule, which is a state rule that tells you how your property would then be distributed. Yes.
Nice. You got a question?
I was going to say, what's the biggest mistake you see families make with inheritance?
Oh, wow. I mean, wow. So it always happens when there's no will. Whenever there's no will, you have siblings, unfortunately, fighting each other. That happens. I mean, I have so many heartbreaking stories.
Yeah. I can just imagine.
They fight each other, and it's very heartbreaking to witness. They're not talking, and it's because of assets. So that's one reason that I would say to people, if you have children and you have assets, for their sake, please get a will. Yes, something.
And what would you, once you have the will, like you said, I guess you dictate who gets what, and that's the best way you would say to protect the kids?
Yeah, so who you're going to give what to. The will is supposed to be kept confidential, so they wouldn't know what they get. Otherwise, sometimes they know they're fighting each other, or you pass away.
Of course.
But yeah, so
sometimes they're trying to push you to pass away quicker. Sorry, we don't want that.
Yeah, so you dictate who you want to give your assets to. It could be a non-family member. It's up to you, how you decide.
Okay. And with you having family, having kids, how do you balance the work life and family? Because we all know that's one of the most difficult things. I still struggle with it. That's why I figured I'd ask you.
And I'll say I still struggle with it, but thankfully I do have a very hands-on husband. He's fantastic with the kids. You too. Yeah. Kudos. So he's very hands-on. He does the money shit. So gets them ready for school, feeds them their breakfast, drops them at school. Then I do you do the second shift? Or yes, I do, which works well for my schedule because then he's at work, right? So if the kids need to be picked up early from school, they have different pickup schedules now that they're in different schools. So I'm able to handle it. He's at work, and so I just curtail my schedule. I usually get the school schedule ahead of time at the beginning of the school year, and then I block out the dates that there's no school. That way it's not a conflict for my schedule because I already know that day doesn't work. I'm not going to schedule closing on that day because none of my kids are home with me.
Nice.
So that's one of the biggest blessings of being an entrepreneur and being able to control my own schedule. It's like, thank you, Jesus. Because I do see my other friends, it's a struggle. So
you would say that how you set your schedule when it comes to the kids and comes to the family, you would say that that's one of the biggest boundaries that you set?
Yes.
Okay.
Like I said, I block out the time. There's no school. That's a boundary. I'm available for my kids on that day because they're usually home whenever there's no school. We're home together. We plan something as a family.
Nice.
So yes.
Nice. You have a question?
I was going to say for 2026, what are some goals that you have?
2026? Yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I mean, just to keep doing what I do, but to do it in a smarter way. Also, I love I love being the only, person in my firm. I love it. I mean, I do have my
You have people that help you,
help
help your family, right?
but because I like being involved in all my deals. I like knowing what's going on.
You're a control freak. I am too. Don't feel bad, Tony. I am too.
I didn't want to use that label on myself, but I think that's it, and I think that's also part of the reason that I am successful. Because people know that they can reach me. I'm reachable, and that I know what's going on with each file. So, but I know that. I think I would also like to grow, so I know I need to let go of some of that and delegate in order to grow. And growing, of course, means more success, of course. So yes, that's something that in 2026, hopefully I can do. I've been saying that for quite a long time, but hopefully 2026 I can actually.
You can do it.
Yes.
Also, what would be the I guess the mindset for building a successful practice? I mean, you've been doing it so long now. You kind of have. I don't want to say have everything on cruise control. You have a system in place. But what is the mindset for a lot of people who are looking to, maybe get into the business or, want to also have a successful practice like you do?
Well, you need to have a disciplined mindset. I think that's very crucial. You have to be disciplined. You can't say you want to do your own thing and not be able to get up in the morning and not be able to do those things that need to be done in order for you to be successful. Because once you go out there, unless you have another side gig, it's you. If you're not working, you're not making the money, and you have bills every month that's due. So you have to be very, very disciplined. Know that time to work is time to work, and you also have to put yourself out there, connect with people, network. If you're a shy person, just gonna have to figure out how to get past that and connect with people, because that's where your success comes. There's a saying that said a shut mouth doesn't get fed.
Doesn't get fed. Closed mouth doesn't get fed.
Exactly. So if people don't know you, if you're not connecting with people, the business is really not gonna grow itself.
It's true. It's true. I think it goes back to what you said in the beginning about sink or swim, right?
Yes.
Nice. What do you say separates great attorneys from an average one? Because me being in the business 23 years, I've seen a lot of average, and I've seen a lot of great attorneys as yourself.
Listening to people. So I really believe that being a paralegal before I even went to law school, because I think once you get into law school, you start thinking of yourself in a different way. You have maybe like a big head about yourself. I'm in law school, and then you are an attorney, and you're like, I'm the whatever. So I started as a paralegal at different firms, and my first firm, I mean, I was answering calls from people that would call like 10 times a day and wouldn't pick up.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The call. And I always feel bad for the people. And somehow I always knew that, once I'm an attorney, either for myself or whatever, I'll always make sure to put my clients first, make time for my clients,
You guys hear that?
You have to, you can't say, oh, no, I'm not successful, I don't have time, because eventually it will phase.
It's going to fade.
It will phase. So that's one thing people, I think they do appreciate about my practice, that I make time. If you're calling me and I can't pick up, I usually will text. I'll call you back, So I make time for the agents I work with. My emails don't go unanswered for days. I just don't even know how to do that. To me, that's
Amen.
I can't even do it, even if I wanted to. I always make sure I'm checking my emails. If I have to get to something, I let you know I'm working on it. I don't just not respond. So I think that does really, really make a difference.
Well, it makes a big difference when they know that you're very responsible and you're very involved in the in your files and in the process. I had situations where myself and my son, we were speaking, and there were certain clients that we were trying to get to, list with us or sell their homes with us. And I was out of the country. And he reached out to me, and I would still pick up the phone and still make time for them, because, yes, when you're away, but there's still certain things that you still need to handle.
Oh, yes.
You're not doing it 24 hours a day, but you still need to handle certain things. So that lets people know that it kind of separates, if you want to say, the boys from the men, if you will. Yeah,
like I told you earlier, I was on like a week's of vacation this summer. Most of my clients didn't know. I only told some agents, but it didn't mean that I wasn't talking to them. Just like, I'm away, just so you know. But my clients didn't know, because it was time difference also, but I made it work.
Right.
I made it work. So that's how I am.
Nice. You got a question?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what would be like your biggest lead generation factor? Like, would it be like networking, social media? What would be like your best avenue or referrals or something?
Okay, so I think it's social media. It might be because of when I opened my practice. Everybody was inside.
We were all home. We are nothing to do. Yes. Yes.
We were all home on the computer. And thankfully for me, like I said, I already created my website. I had social media. I just was waiting to.
Just to hit the button. You had that tunnel vision.
So when I was ready to go, everything was already set up and everybody was home. And I was visible online, So I think I'm not sure if now it still is. I think a lot of it might be now I'm known within the people that work with me and referrals. I'm always surprised when people say they Google me. I'm like, oh, wow, really? But it does happen to me. I'm always surprised, like, oh, thank you. At least it comes up. Yeah.
We talked about sneakers in the beginning. I know you're not a big sneakerhead, but what is your favorite pair?
So I don't know if it's by default. It's this one that my husband he has, I don't know how many pairs. The white, I think they're called Air Force.
Air Force Ones.
Yes.
Okay. Nice. You picked a good pair.
Yes, I think so because my husband, he gets a brand new pair constantly. They can't.
Oh, I love your husband already. Him and I need to meet.
Yeah, he can't have dirt on it, and people know that about him, so they will gift it to him also. So he always has like a fresh pair ready in case something happens.
Nice.
So,
Because you have the young kids now. They call the Air Force Ones. They're calling them dad shoes. I heard that the other day. I almost fainted.
Really?
The nerve.
I think they're so stylish.
They're so stylish.
I think so. And the white shoes, it's a white one that we have. So my kids have it too. So
nice. Oh, the kids. Okay, so everybody's fresh.
Okay. We all go as what do you call it?
As a unit.
Yeah, as a unit together.
That's a good way to be as a unit with the white on whites. Okay, I like that. Yeah. What would you say? One thing people should do to protect their family financially going forward.
Get a will or get a trust. Again, the trust is now new in our community,
right.
But a lot of people do call me. They don't follow up, maybe because of the price. I know it's a little
the financial, right?
Yeah, the financial aspect of it. Because of the protection that it gives, the privacy. I do think if people can afford to get a trust, they should think of that and get a will too. Because even when you have a trust, we always still recommend get a will to catch anything that is not in a trust.
Right.
So also some people can get a trust depending what they're trying to do with their asset. It's not always something they need. Because once you put in a trust, you're kind of letting go,
right.
Unless you create the one that you're still involved, which also has its own risk, right? But at the least, get a will. If you have family, especially when you have children, and you have assets, that's get a will.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. We want to thank you again for sitting down with us. Like you said, I know that we've been trying to do this for a while, but we're really happy that we were able to get this done today. What is the best way for people to reach you?
I am on social media. I'm on Instagram, Akinola Law, AKINOLALAW. Otherwise, my office number is 718-374-5200. And I also give out my cell phone, but once you become a client, my clients all have my cell phone number. That's actually my preferred way to talk to my clients. Everyone once we're in the relationship. But yeah, I give out my cell phone number. Not a problem.
Yes. Okay, good. You're already different. Well, you and I already know that. We were trying to put a deal together, folks, that didn't quite happen. We had some issues at the end, but we have other deals that we're going to be working on.
Listen, all good.
Yeah. So we want to thank you again. Folks, if you're looking to sell, buy, or invest, 516-218-1605. Femi the Agent on all social media platforms. Son?
516-662-6824 and Femi the Realtor on Instagram.
Thank you very much, folks. Have a great day. Thank you for sitting down with us.
Thank you for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great day, guys. Stay safe. Be blessed.